Listen closely, my friends. Motivation feels powerful, but it is temporary. One day, you wake up inspired. You watch a powerful speech, feel unstoppable, and promise yourself that everything will change. You decide to wake up early, exercise every morning, read every day, and finally chase the goals you've been delaying. Then the next morning arrives. You feel tired. The excitement is gone. And suddenly, the promises you made yesterday don't feel important anymore. This is where most people lose. They don't lack dreams. They lack discipline. Motivation depends on how you feel. Discipline depends on what you decide. If you only work when you feel motivated, your progress will always be inconsistent. Your emotions will become the boss of your future. A disciplined person understands something different. You don't need to feel ready to begin. You begin because you made a commitment. There will be mornings when you don't want to get out of bed. There will be days when your work feels boring. There will be moments when quitting seems easier than continuing. Those moments are not interruptions to your journey. They are the journey. Every time you act despite discomfort, you strengthen your character. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you build trust in yourself. Motivation may start the fire, but discipline keeps it burning. So stop asking yourself, do I feel motivated today? Ask a better question. What did I promise myself I would do? Then do it. Because freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you feel like doing. True freedom comes when you become strong enough to control what you feel like doing. And that is where real discipline begins. Comfort feels harmless. It tells you to stay in bed a little longer. To postpone the difficult task. To choose entertainment instead of effort. It whispers, you can do it tomorrow. And tomorrow becomes another tomorrow. Slowly, without noticing, comfort becomes a cage. The dangerous thing about comfort is that it doesn't hurt you immediately. It feels good. That's why people become addicted to it. They choose the easy path today and unknowingly make tomorrow harder. Think about a muscle. If you never challenge it, it becomes weak. Your mind works the same way. If you constantly avoid difficult situations, your ability to handle difficulty becomes weaker. Every time you choose the harder but better option, you train yourself. Wake up when you said you would. Finish the work before entertainment. Exercise when you don't feel like moving. Stay focused when distractions are everywhere. These moments may seem small, but they are shaping the person you are becoming. Stoic philosophy teaches us to stop treating discomfort as an enemy. Discomfort can be training. It can teach patience, endurance, and self-control. You don't have to destroy comfort completely. You simply have to stop allowing comfort to make your decisions. Ask yourself today, am I choosing this because it is right for me, or because it is easy? That question can expose many of the habits holding you back. The life you want will require you to do things your comfortable self would rather avoid. So don't run from discomfort. Walk toward it. Because every time you defeat the desire to take the easy path, you become a little harder to defeat. And one day, you'll realize something powerful. The discomfort you once feared was actually building your freedom. Most people want extraordinary results, but they underestimate ordinary actions. They want a stronger body, a successful career, financial freedom, and a peaceful mind. But they often believe transformation requires one massive decision. It doesn't. Your life is built through small choices repeated every day. Reading 10 pages may not change your life today. Exercising for 20 minutes may not transform your body tomorrow. Waking up early once may not make you disciplined. But repeat those actions for months, and something changes. You change. A small habit is like a single drop of water. One drop seems insignificant. But drop after drop, it can shape stone. The same principle works in your life. One healthy meal becomes a healthier lifestyle. One focused hour becomes a valuable skill. One disciplined morning becomes a disciplined life. The problem is that people quit because they don't see immediate results. They expect transformation to happen overnight, and when it doesn't, they return to old habits. But growth is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. Think about a seed buried beneath the ground. For days, nothing appears to happen, yet underneath the surface, roots are growing. Your discipline works the same way. You may not see progress today. Keep going. You may not feel stronger tomorrow. Keep going. You may still struggle next week. Keep going. Consistency creates results that intensity alone cannot produce. So don't try to change your entire life in one day. Choose one habit. Make it small. Make it simple. Then repeat it until it becomes part of who you are. Because success is rarely built through one extraordinary moment. It is built through ordinary moments that you refuse to waste. The way you begin your morning can quietly determine the direction of your entire day. Most people wake up and immediately give their attention away. They reach for their phone, check messages, scroll through social media, and consume other people's lives before they have even thought about their own. Then they wonder why they feel distracted. Your first hour should belong to you. Before the world starts demanding your attention, give yourself time to think, breathe, and prepare. You don't need an elaborate routine. You need intention. Wake up when you said you would. Make your bed, drink some water. Move your body. Spend a few minutes in silence. Write down what actually matters today. These actions may look simple, but they send a powerful message to your mind. I am in control of my day. Discipline begins with small promises. When you repeatedly break promises to yourself, your confidence slowly disappears. But when you keep them, even the smallest ones, you begin trusting yourself again. Imagine starting every day by completing one difficult task before distractions begin. You have already won a small battle before the world even knows you are fighting. Don't allow notifications to decide your priorities. Don't let other people's demands become more important than your own purpose. Your morning is not just the beginning of your day. It is the first training ground for your discipline. Win the first hour, and you make the rest of the day easier to control. Tomorrow morning, don't reach for your phone first. Reach for your purpose. Because the person who controls his morning slowly learns how to control his life. Procrastination rarely sounds dangerous. It sounds like, I'll do it later. Later becomes tonight. Tonight becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. And slowly, the life you wanted becomes a collection of things you never started. The problem isn't always laziness. Sometimes you are simply waiting for the perfect moment. You want to feel motivated. You want everything to be easy. You want to know that you will succeed before you begin. But life doesn't work that way. You will never have perfect conditions. There will always be another distraction, another excuse, another reason to wait. The solution is simple. Start before you feel ready. Don't think about finishing the entire project. Take the first step. Open the book. Write the first sentence. Do the first exercise. Make the first call. 5 minutes of action is more powerful than 5 hours of planning. Procrastination becomes weaker when you stop negotiating with yourself. When you tell yourself, I'll work after I check my phone, you have already given your attention away. Instead, decide beforehand what must be done, and begin without asking your emotions for permission. Remember, every time you delay something important, you are not escaping the task. You are transferring the pressure into your future. And your future self deserves better than a mountain of unfinished promises. Today, choose action over excuses. You don't need to finish everything. You simply need to begin. Because once you take the first step, momentum begins to replace resistance. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Create the moment by taking action. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build. Every day gives you hundreds of small opportunities to practice it. You decide whether to stay in bed or get up. Whether to waste an hour or use it. Whether to finish what you started or make another excuse. These choices may seem insignificant, but they are quietly shaping your character. Think of discipline like a muscle. You don't become strong by lifting a heavy weight once. You become strong by training consistently. Your mind works the same way. Start small. Choose one promise and keep it every day. Maybe you decide to exercise for 20 minutes. Maybe you read 10 pages. Maybe you stop using your phone during your first hour awake. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is consistency. There will be days when you fail. Don't turn one bad day into a bad week. Don't allow a mistake to become an identity. Start again. The person who succeeds isn't the person who never falls off the path. It's the person who keeps returning to it. Discipline also means doing things when nobody is watching. Anyone can work hard when people are applauding. Real character is built in the quiet moments when there is no reward, no recognition, and no audience. Ask yourself tonight, did my actions today move me closer to the person I want to become? If the answer is yes, keep going. If the answer is no, adjust tomorrow. You don't need to transform your entire life overnight. You only need to become a little more disciplined than you were yesterday. Because eventually, small acts of discipline stop feeling like sacrifices. They become who you are. There is a relationship you must protect more than any other relationship in your life. The relationship you have with yourself. Every time you promise yourself that you will wake up early, finish your work, exercise, or stop wasting time, you create an agreement. And every time you break that agreement, something quietly changes. You begin trusting yourself less. You may still tell yourself that you will change tomorrow, but somewhere inside, you no longer believe your own words. That is why discipline is so important. Discipline is not only about productivity. It is about self-respect. When you keep a promise to yourself, even a small one, you send a powerful message. My word means something. Start with promises you can actually keep. Don't tell yourself you'll completely transform your life overnight. Choose something simple. Wake up at a specific time. Complete one important task. Exercise for 20 minutes. Read a few pages. Then do it. Tomorrow, repeat it. You don't need to impress anyone. Nobody needs to know. Your goal is to become someone you can depend on when life becomes difficult. There will be days when you fail. Accept it, learn from it, and begin again. Discipline doesn't mean never making mistakes. It means refusing to abandon yourself because of them. Imagine the confidence that comes from knowing you will do what you said you would do. You won't need constant motivation. You won't need someone to push you. You will have built something much stronger. Trust in yourself. And when you can trust yourself, you stop waiting for the world to save you. You become the person who saves himself. Your attention is one of the most valuable things you own. Where your attention goes, your life follows. Yet every day, people give their attention away without realizing it. A notification appears, and they check it. A message arrives, and they stop working. A video begins, and 20 minutes disappear. Then they wonder why their goals remain unfinished. Distraction doesn't always destroy your life in one dramatic moment. It steals it minute by minute. If you want discipline, you must learn to protect your focus. When you work, work. When you study, study. When you rest, rest. Don't allow every notification, opinion, and interruption to control your mind. Create periods where the outside world cannot reach you. Put your phone away. Close unnecessary tabs. Choose one important task and give it your complete attention. At first, your mind will resist. It will want something easier. It will search for entertainment. It will tell you that checking your phone will only take a second. Don't listen. That moment of resistance is actually your training. Every time you stay focused despite the urge to escape, you strengthen your ability to concentrate. Remember, you don't need more time. You need to waste less of the time you already have. A focused person can accomplish in 1 hour what a distracted person struggles to finish in an entire day. So ask yourself, what deserves my attention right now? Then give it everything you have. Protect your focus like you would protect something priceless. Because it is. Your attention becomes your thoughts. Your thoughts become your actions. And your actions eventually become your life. Master your attention, and you begin mastering your future. Everyone wants success, but very few people are willing to experience the boredom that comes before it. Consistency is not exciting. It is doing the same important things when nobody is watching. It is training when you don't feel stronger. Studying when you don't feel smarter. Working when there is no immediate reward. At first, your effort may seem invisible. You work for weeks, but nothing changes. You practice for months, but you're still struggling. This is where most people quit. They mistake slow progress for no progress. But growth often happens quietly before it becomes visible. Think about a stone being shaped by water. One drop seems powerless. 1,000 drops still seem insignificant. But over time, the stone changes. Your daily effort works the same way. One disciplined day won't transform you. But hundreds of disciplined days can create a completely different person. There will be moments when you become tired of repeating yourself. You will wonder whether the effort is worth it. You may even look at someone else and think they are moving faster. Don't let comparison destroy your consistency. Your journey is not theirs. Stay focused on the work in front of you. Consistency also means continuing after the excitement disappears. Anyone can work hard when they are inspired. The real test begins when the excitement is gone and only commitment remains. That is where character is built. So when progress feels slow, don't quit. When the results are invisible, keep going. When nobody notices, keep going. Because one day, the results that seemed impossible will become evidence of every day you refuse to give up. Consistency is painful in the beginning, but regret is far more painful in the end. The hardest battle is often between what you want right now and what you want most. Your mind wants comfort today. Your future wants results tomorrow. You can spend the evening scrolling, watching videos, and doing nothing difficult. It feels good for a few hours. But tomorrow, you wake up with the same problems and the same unfinished goals. Or you can choose the harder path. You can study while others are distracted. You can save money while others spend it. You can train while others are resting. You can build your future while others are chasing temporary pleasure. This is delayed gratification. It means having the strength to say, I could have this now, but I want something greater later. Every meaningful achievement requires this ability. A strong body requires you to sacrifice comfort. Knowledge requires you to sacrifice entertainment. Financial freedom requires you to sacrifice unnecessary spending. A peaceful mind requires you to sacrifice the need for constant stimulation. The world constantly tells you to choose now. Buy now. Watch now. Eat now. Relax now. But discipline asks a different question. What will this decision cost my future self? That question can change your life. Before choosing temporary pleasure, imagine yourself 1 year from now. Will you be proud that you stayed disciplined, or will you wish you had started sooner? You don't have to reject every pleasure. You simply need to stop becoming a slave to it. Enjoyment becomes more meaningful when you have earned it. Rest feels better after meaningful work. Celebration feels better after achievement. Freedom feels better when you know you built it yourself. So when temptation appears, remember your bigger goal. Your future is being built by what you are willing to sacrifice today. Discipline begins in the mind long before it appears in your actions. If you see every difficult task as a punishment, you will always search for an excuse to escape it. But if you see difficulty as training, your entire perspective changes. A disciplined person doesn't ask, how can I make this easier? They ask, how can I become strong enough to handle this? That difference creates two completely different lives. When you wake up early, don't think about what you're giving up. Think about what you're building. When you exercise, don't focus only on the discomfort. Remember that you're training your body and your ability to keep going. When you study or work while others are distracted, understand that you're investing in a future they cannot see yet. Discipline becomes easier when you stop seeing it as restriction and start seeing it as preparation. You are preparing yourself for the moments when life becomes difficult. Because eventually, life will test everyone. There will be days when motivation disappears. There will be problems you never expected. There will be moments when quitting feels reasonable. Your discipline will be what remains when motivation is gone. This is why you must build standards for yourself. Decide what you will do even when you don't feel like doing it. Decide what you will no longer tolerate from yourself. Then live by those decisions. Don't negotiate with every emotion. Your feelings can speak, but they don't have to make the final decision. The disciplined mind understands that temporary discomfort is often the price of permanent growth. So stop asking whether you feel ready. Ask whether the action is necessary. Then do it. Discipline is not about becoming a prisoner of rules. It is about becoming strong enough that your weakest impulses no longer control your life. Most people think routine makes life boring. But the truth is that a good routine creates freedom. Without structure, your day is controlled by whatever happens around you. You wake up without a plan, react to every distraction, and reach the end of the day wondering where your time went. A routine changes that. It removes unnecessary decisions and gives your energy a direction. You don't have to decide every morning whether you should exercise. You already decided. You don't have to debate whether you should work on your goal. It's already part of your routine. This is the quiet power of discipline. A routine turns important actions into habits, and habits reduce the need for motivation. Think of a river. It doesn't stop every few meters to decide where it should flow. It follows its path. Your routine should give your life that same direction. Create simple rules for yourself. A consistent wake-up time. A focus period for important work. Time for exercise. Time for learning. Time to disconnect from the noise. And time to reflect on your day. Your routine doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be realistic enough that you can follow it consistently. Some days will go wrong. That's normal. When they do, don't abandon the entire system. Adjust and return. The goal isn't to control every minute of your life. The goal is to make sure your most important priorities don't disappear beneath distractions. Eventually, discipline will stop feeling like something you force yourself to do. It will become automatic. And that is when routine becomes freedom. Because when your habits work for you, your mind has more energy for the things that truly matter. Build your routine today, and one day your routine will build the person you always wanted to become. There comes a moment when discipline changes from something you practice into something you become. You no longer need someone to remind you. You no longer wait for motivation. You simply do what needs to be done. That is when you become dangerous to your old self. Think about the person you were months ago. Maybe you were easily distracted. Maybe you constantly delayed important work. Maybe you started things but rarely finished them. Now imagine becoming the opposite. Someone who keeps promises. Someone who stays focused. Someone who continues when things become difficult. Someone who doesn't need applause to keep moving. That person isn't created by talent. He is created by repetition. Every morning you get another chance to strengthen that identity. Every difficult decision is an opportunity to prove that your old habits no longer control you. You will still have bad days. You will still feel tired. You will still experience doubt. Being unstoppable doesn't mean you never struggle. It means struggle doesn't make you stop. When you fail, learn. When you fall, stand. When you lose focus, return. When you feel weak, remember why you started. Never demand perfection from yourself. Demand commitment. Your goal isn't to become someone who never makes mistakes. Your goal is to become someone who refuses to remain defeated by them. One disciplined choice leads to another. One victory builds confidence. One kept promise creates another. Eventually, you look back and realize something incredible. You didn't suddenly become strong. You built strength one decision at a time. So keep going. Your future self is watching every choice you make today. Become the person who can be trusted with his own future. And in the final part, we will bring this entire journey together, and discover what happens when discipline becomes part of your identity. One day, you will look back at the person you used to be. You will remember the mornings when you wanted to stay in bed. The goals you almost abandoned. The moments when comfort was calling your name and discipline felt too difficult. But you kept going. Not because every day was easy. Because you finally understood that your future was more important than your temporary feelings. Discipline changed you quietly. Every early morning taught you commitment. Every difficult workout taught you endurance. Every hour of focused work taught you patience. Every temptation you resisted taught you self-control. And every promise you kept to yourself rebuilt your confidence. You may not have noticed the transformation while it was happening. But slowly, the person who once needed motivation became the person who created his own momentum. That is the greatest reward of discipline. Not money. Not recognition. Not applause. You become someone you can trust. You no longer need the world to push you forward. You can stand alone and still move toward your purpose. You understand that comfort is temporary, but character remains. You understand that motivation fades, but commitment can remain. And you understand that freedom isn't the ability to do whatever you want. Freedom is having enough control over yourself to choose what is right, even when what is easy is calling you. So if you're struggling today, don't be ashamed. Keep going. If you've failed, begin again. If you've lost your way, return to your path. Your story is not defined by how many times you fell. It is defined by how many times you chose to rise. One day, you will realize that every difficult morning, every sacrifice, and every moment of discipline was building something far greater than success. It was building you. And when that person finally looks back, he will understand that the greatest freedom he ever earned was the freedom to control himself,